Back here, first things first, we're here with Antoine Walker. We're going viral. It's been almost a month now since Frank Vogel was hired to be the coach of the Lakers, and he has the tall task of winning over LeBron. It does seem like their relationship is off to a pretty solid start. The Lakers' official Twitter account put out this picture of the two hanging out at the facility yesterday with the caption, "Coach and King."
And yesterday, Lakers hired Lionel Hollins. They add more veteran coaches to their staff.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Let's throw him to the mix. We got 3 head coaches now on the coaching staff. Nice hot pink shorts there, LeBron.
Frank, I still got faith in my man, Frank. Kentucky, that's my guy, Kentucky. I got to have faith in him.
If they would have hired
It's unfortunate they got 2 head coaches behind him. It might not work.
Right. If they would have hired your guy just after a initial, like a real search, just he's
then
part
you'd
of
be
it.
okay with it.
Yeah, I would have been okay because I like his basketball.
Right.
Yeah. Yes.
But he didn't like that he was your 15th choice. You never really, when it's your last choice.
Well, you gotta get in when you can, Jenna. You never know you can get that job. I tell you, I can be the head coach of the King and put that on my resume. I'm gonna take my chance.
That was very funny. All right, we're talking Game 3 of the NBA Finals.
We'll explain that one later.
Kawhi Leonard and the Raptors will hope to take a 2-1 lead tonight. Reports of Kawhi dealing with a knee injury have surfaced recently, especially since his shooting is shade above 38%. But Kawhi was quick to dismiss the noise, saying there are no excuses.
100%. I'm on the floor. I mean, there's no excuses. Like, you know, everybody knows everyone's banged or bruised up at this moment. I mean, pretty much you heard it before. You know, coming in the season wasn't, you know, feeling healthy. Still was, you know, trying to get back to my old self. I mean, they seen that, they felt that, seen pictures of, you know, of my body, and we pretty much just laid out the schedule and went from there. You know, just pretty much, like I said, laid out a schedule, win game by game, see that things get worse or get better, and then just try to keep attacking each day.
All right, Antoine, what's it going to be like for Kawhi now? What's he going to have to do to get the win over the Warriors?
He's going to have to be aggressive, I think, early in this game. I think tonight he has to come out with an aggressive mindset, because Golden State, you want to withstand their runs. You figure they're going to come out the first 6 minutes with a lot of energy, a lot of pace. Kawhi is the one guy that can calm that down. I think he has to be aggressive, but then get back to doing what he's done in this series, to be a willing passer and make sure his guys get involved. But I think the superstars, and Michael was great at this, LeBron, Kobe, and picking their spots and when they need to be aggressive. I think that's what Kawhi's going to have to do consistently throughout this game, is pick his spots and not let his team get down, regardless of who's on the floor. I think you got to understand Golden State's a great home team. They feed off that energy, kind of the same energy Toronto fed off of, obviously playing at home too. But he has to be picking spots and be aggressive, get to the free throw line, change his game up a little bit, mix it up, work from 15 feet in, try to get to the basket a little bit more, make his mid-range game where he doesn't have to, where he can avoid the double team before it comes over. If he adds those little things to his game and stay aggressive offensively and pick his spots, he'll be fine.
And Kawhi's going to get a different look in this game, at least to a degree, than he got in Game 2. In Game 2, the Warriors made Klay Thompson the primary defender on him. Now, Klay's either not going to play, in which case you don't have to worry about it, or if he's limited, there is no chance. They say, hey, Klay, in addition to we need you on offense with a bad hamstring, guard Kawhi Leonard. They will put Klay Thompson on Danny Green, and they will ask someone else to guard Kawhi Leonard, which could, Klay gave him some trouble in Game number 2. I would think Draymond or Iggy would be the tougher matchup because they're a little longer. They're certainly a little stronger than Klay. But the other thing that happened in Game 2 was the Raptors weren't running ISOs for Kawhi Leonard. Zach Lowe pointed this out. He only had 7 ISOs in Game 2. That's the second fewest of the entire postseason. What you've said they need to get to, the post-ups. They only ran 4 post-ups for him in Game number 2. And so for Kawhi Leonard, if Klay is out, this is going to be about, you mentioned LeBron or Michael or Kobe, controlling the game. The game, sometimes you have a bunch of points, but it feels like they were almost a hollow point total. I know that can sound unfair at times, but when Kawhi had 34 points, it was like he did, but did you feel the real impact of it? Controlling the game, because the Raptors should be in very strong position, even though they're on the road, and the Warriors have never lost a home playoff game in the finals since Kevin Durant's been on the team. But I think a lot of the ways you're going to utilize Kawhi Leonard have to be a little differently than in Game 2, particularly down the stretch of Game 2, where he was 1 of 6 in the fourth quarter. story.
I have to slightly disagree with you as far as the isolation. I think that's for a reason. I think that's the worst offense for Toronto going against Golden State with the type of length they have. Because if you ISO, you are inviting the double team. When you know he's going to get double team. Oh, when you ISO, when you try to take a guy off the bounce, they're playing up on his three-point shot. That's made him less effective from the three-point line. So for me, I think you should go into the low post. I think they should flip it where they had 7 low posts, 4 ISOs. I believe that would be a better balance going into game number 3, how that they defended him. But I believe the number one thing for Kawhi is that you got to be on the attack. If he's able to, in the first 2 games, he shot 26 free throws. If he's able to get, averaging 13, if he's able to get to that 13 number, that means Draymond and Iggy, someone's in foul trouble.
Yep.
And I need to be able to get them in foul trouble early. There is I don't care all these simulators. Nick's trying to tell me about the analytics and they play these games and this happens, and this happens. I'm like, man, I'm used to the old school, man. I got that guy. He's not going to score. But if I get Draymond or Iggy in the foul trouble early, I don't see a way for them to be able to win the game because then they can't be aggressive on the defensive end, which also means don't forget about those 14 to 20 points you need from Iggy and Draymond. So I'm on the attack if I'm Kawhi. I'm getting either one of those guys into foul trouble, and if he's able to do that, Twan, I believe the Raptors are able to get the game tonight.
I know we're asking a lot from Kawhi on the offensive end, but also I think he has to get back to being a little bit more aggressive defensively. And what I mean by that is that because if you're going to play this boxing one, these junk defenses and trap, Kawhi can't lay in the corner because you got a non-shooter. He's going to have to get in the middle, mix it up, be able to rotate, challenge at the basket. And he did it. We saw him do it against, obviously, the Milwaukee series, take on a challenge and guard Giannis and everything. He has to get back to being active defensively, too. And I know it's tough, but this comes with the territory. This is the reason why we believe he's the best two-way player in the league is because of his ability to do this. So he has to get back aggressive defensively as well.
And the injuries' impact on his defense, I think, has been underrated. We've talked about how the injuries hurt his three-point shooting, his efficiency. He was fully spent with those 6 games against Milwaukee, particularly the last 4, and he was as good as an NBA player can be on both ends of the court, games 3 through 6. In this series, he has had an easier defensive matchup, and he hasn't been able to take advantage of it as much. He's been a step slow on some rotations. That free safety position that they've kind of had him playing, where he can be dominant, he hasn't been as dominant. I think that is where we don't think about the injury playing a factor, but it does. That's where they absolutely need it.
If I'm betting with Nick Wright's money, if Kawhi Leonard's healthy, when they throw that ball to Sean Livingston, the claw is going the other way.
Yeah,
and
they win on the Iggy shot.
They win that. He steals that last pass if he's healthy.
All right, we've got to take a break. Antoine, we'll see you a little bit later on. Coming up, talk some football. Is Le'Veon Bell still the best back in the NFL? That's next on First Things First.
I was betting with my money, and if Kawhi had stolen it and gone the other way, I would have lost a lot of my money. That Iggy shot was glorious.